Hello and welcome. Hi, it is Thursday the 12th of June and this is it's Friday, and this is my second of the Duncan Edwards virtual walking tours, and today we are on the Priory Estate here in Dudley. Now this estate was developed in 1929 and it was to rehouse the 2,000 tenants from the slum clearances from around the town, especially around Wolverhampton Street and its surrounding roads. The first foundation stone was laid at number 9 Oak Road, just around the corner, on the 16th of July 1929. 200 other houses were built surrounding Priory Park, such as Pagnell Drive and Gervais Drive, and Gervais Pagnell was the name of the once owner of Dudley Castle, and the Dudley Castle and the zoo is over in the distance over those trees that you can see in front of us. And Gervais Pagnell owned the castle in the 12th century, and the castle looks down over Priory Park, where we will be visiting over the next few days. So by 1937, the Edwards family had left the Woodside area where we visited yesterday and came to this part of the town, which is about 2 miles away. Their first home was on the Wren's Nest Road, but only for a very short time before they moved here. Now this is number 15 Elm Road, and an old neighbour, Hazel Hunt, who's a good friend of the foundation, said that this was the first house that the Edwards lived in, next to a family called the Fairfaxes, but it's the house that I'm going to show you in a few seconds that Duncan is known for living in. So all the houses on the estate are named after trees, and it's not had a good reputation in the past, but as you can see, I think it's really lovely. The park is certainly lovely and it is very, very well looked after. All the neighbours that remember Duncan remember him as a very happy and a very well-loved lad that used to walk these streets. The house that we've just seen, number 15, was the house where, very sadly, Duncan's baby sister Carol Ann was born and where she died. And the neighbours will remember Duncan sitting on the doorstep, broken-hearted at the loss of his beloved sister. Duncan could often be seen as well walking the various dogs that he had during his childhood, but his favourite one was a sheepdog called Timmy, and he really was the love of Duncan's life when he was a little boy, and he would often be seen up and down these streets on the Priory Estate kicking a football, and if he didn't have a football he would use a brick or a rolled up piece of newspaper, anything that he could kick that resembled a football then he would use. So we are now approaching number 31 Elm Road, which is just that cream house there, and that is the house that Duncan is known for living in. It is also the house that a very young Duncan, very much in love, would bring his girlfriend and his eventual fiancée Molly Leach. And this is a lovely photograph of Molly and Duncan together. Don't they look a happy couple? That was taken at their friend's wedding. But that is Duncan and Molly, and she would often visit Gladstone and Sarah, her future in-laws that adored her, and she in return adored them. They were engaged to be married. They were going to be married in the summer of 1959, but fate, of course, sadly took over when Duncan lost his life in Munich. Duncan's teammate and best friend, the man that he described as being the brother he never had, Bobby Charlton, was going to be their best man. This is also the house that Matt Busby, Jimmy Murphy and Bert Wally would visit on their numerous trips to Dudley. And there's much discussion on who visited at 2 a.m. on the morning of Duncan's 16th birthday to get that precious signature on a contract that would make Duncan part of the best team that this world has ever seen, and that of course is the Busby Babes. There's much research that shows that it was Bert Whalley and the great Jimmy Murphy, the man that would one day go on to save Manchester United. But what is to be said of this photograph? Because that is definitely, of course, Matt Busby, and that is definitely Duncan, and that is number 31 Elm Road. So was that done just for a publicity photograph after the contract had been signed, or was it Matt Busby that actually came down in the early hours of Duncan's 16th birthday? It would be great to get an answer, really. So if anybody does know, or perhaps if the Murphy family are watching or watching on catch up, if they know the details, if Jimmy ever spoke about when Duncan was actually signed, if you could let us know, that would be fabulous. This is also the house, of course, where Duncan's funeral left from. And these streets all around was filled with mourners. Everyone was out on their doorsteps, everyone was crying. All the streets in the town centre and around Stourbridge Road and Clee Road, where the cemetery is located, was full of mourners, all in tears at the loss of one of their own. It's really hard to imagine what those scenes must have been like. What I think is a really sad story about this house is that his beloved black car, a Morris Minor Saloon, that he used to polish until it shone, was parked here at the end of January 1958 before his final game on British soil at Highbury, where the Babes played against the North London side Arsenal. After Duncan tragically died, the car stayed here on this drive until the end of December 1974 because his dad couldn't bear to part with it. I think that is such a sad, sad story, and it does go to show as well that his dad is very much forgotten about, really, because all the sympathy and all the sorrow is always directed at Sarah, but the loss of his son greatly affected Gladstone, so much so he nearly had a nervous breakdown. He gave up his work at the Bean Engineering Company so that he could be the caretaker at the cemetery where Duncan is buried. He just wanted to be near to his boy. So we can't forget Gladstone and that sad story about the car. I often wonder what happened to the car and where it went, and did they realise the significance of it. Our ideal for the foundation is to get a car, whether it's a black Morris Minor. I don't know if that would be viable or not, but we do want to have a foundation car to advertise the work that we do and to advertise my play Keeping the Dream Alive. It would be fabulous to have a car with a wrap or to be sprayed with our name of the foundation on it. So if anybody could help with that, that would be fabulous. If anybody's got a black Morris Minor they don't want, or even a car, get in touch. It would be a great publicity stunt for all of us. So I've got to get my plug in there, because if you don't ask, you don't get, do you? So it's a very short one today. Just wanted to show you where Duncan lived. Just trying to imagine him as a young lad walking these streets, kicking the ball in front of him, calling his dog behind him, and going in there to his mum and dad, who he adored. And of course the very sad day when his funeral left from here too. So tomorrow we're going to visit the Priory School, Duncan's first school here in Dudley, and we're going to talk about the talent that made him stand out from the rest as a star in the making. Just want to give a couple of shout outs though. I want to say a very, very happy birthday to wonderful Lord Lee Morton, whose birthday it is today. I know he's not on Facebook, but I know some of his friends are. And in fact, we're going to go and see him in a minute to drop his bottle of champagne off to him. But I just wanted to wish him a happy birthday, because he's a wonderful person to a lot of people. And I also want to give a shout out to Keith Norris as well, because Keith has done so much to help us and has sent some wonderful things and some wonderful donations to the foundation. So once again, thank you for watching. Thank you for all the wonderful comments from yesterday. I really appreciate it. please do, if you've got any stories, any memories, anything you think that I should add, then please do get in touch with us and let us know how this can be improved. Or if you think I'm telling you something that's wrong, then please do get in touch. But as always, take care, look after each other and keep safe. And I'll see you at 1 o'clock tomorrow at the Priory School. Bye.